some icing happening now as temperatures are dropping, and that's a big concern here this morning before we really make that transition over to snow, is that period in between where we're looking at some conditions that could get very slick on those roads and maybe icing up your windshields as well. So here's a look at the latest radar. Very colorful map here with lots of blue showing up. Now again, we talked about this a few minutes ago. Radar indicating this is mainly snow, but the ground truth is that we're seeing rain, so it's melting as it's reaching the ground. And you can tell that definitely in these areas of white. That's high reflectivity, indicating, at least if you're just glancing at it, some very heavy snowfall. But sometimes the radar sees melting snow as heavy snowfall. So that's likely what's happening in some of these white areas. You can see there's a break in the precipitation to the south. So we're getting this rain and sleet now and changing over to snow. We're in that process. So it could be snow for you now as we continue to cool things down. But we're watching this lift northward. So Fargo's still in it at the moment, and that's going to continue kind of working its way northward. So we might get into a little pocket of a break here coming up shortly. But even if it's not raining or snowing or sleeting, when you're trying to get out the door, doesn't mean that the roads aren't hazardous or slick. So again, Cass Clay County seeing some of that mixed precipitation going on here, definitely some rain and some sleet. And then looking out to the west, again, more of that happening from down by the Ellendale, Edgeley area, back up through Jamestown and the Mayville radar site. Over to the east, where temperatures are warmer, we're looking at more in the form of some rain here coming up for this morning as you're stepping out. So let's take a look at those temperatures overlaid on this radar. You can see Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls into the low 40s, so still milder there. Definitely on the mild side of this system. There's the transition zone in between, and then out to the northwest, we've really cooled down. Devil's Lake is at 18 degrees, but Fargo's below freezing now at 30. It's 28 right now in Grand Forks, so below freezing there. We've had the glaze of ice in Grand Forks on the camera we've been keeping an eye on, and now in Fargo. So just want to go over some of the winter storm impacts here because this is going to be a pretty dynamic event. Again, this morning we've got that ice and freezing rain first before we make that changeover. We're starting to see some of that sleet, so that's going to create a layer of slick spots there. Then we're transitioning back over to that heavy wet snow today. We're looking at that slippery roads continuing even after the ice. The snow is going to create slick spots as well, and we're maybe even seeing some potential buildup on those power lines, and with some stronger wind gusts getting into the 30s to 40 miles per hour today, that could be an issue. And then reduced visibility as the snow is falling and with that wind. And the other thing, flooded ditches. We've got some ditches that are full and maybe rising with the rain that we've gotten since last night. And you combine that with slick roads, and we're looking at some hazardous conditions out there. So something to keep in mind. Another reason to just stay home today if you can. Looking at the Red River in Fargo, we're currently at 28.18 feet. We'll be on the rise once this moisture kicks in. And in Grand Forks, 35.08 feet. And we're working our way up toward moderate flood stage. Lots of flood warnings going on along the rivers and some overland flooding too. Remember, don't attempt to go through those flooded roads. Find another route. So here's a look at that hour by hour planner again. For today, we're going to see that transition zone shift eastward. We may get this in waves, so there may be some periods where you get a break before the next round moves in, but overall we're looking at areas of some steady snow, and again on the warm side of this, more of a sleet rain mix going on, and then this continues into Friday morning. So that really does start to add up for some of us, and we're looking at snowfall totals getting close to that double-digit range in some spots. This is a tough one because there may be some melting as the snow is falling there and reaches the ground. Of course, we're starting with rain this morning in a lot of spots, and it's going to be that kind of slushy wet snow in a lot of places. But overall, we're looking at several inches possible, especially in northwest Minnesota. And I don't want to forget the ice. We're looking at icing too possible. Total liquid precipitation, about an inch in some areas added to the system. And here's a look at your 7-day planner. Saturday, finally get that sunshine returning back into the low 40s.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. A Minnesota state trooper moved a doctor to tears when he turned what should have been a speeding ticket into a heartwarming act of kindness. The details right after this short break.
The day's top stories. Valley News Live, 10 at 10.